Whoa, that was close. That would have been interesting. Hello everybody. So on this channel, you know that I am all about being honest and being real with you guys, and so I want to share with you about my weekend. As I'm filming this, today is Sunday, and basically yesterday I spent all day in bed crying. Yesterday was just one of those days where life just seemed very overwhelming. I'd woken up in the morning and I'd started looking for housing, basically just to like give you some context. I'm getting married in the summer. I know you guys will know that because I talk about it. It comes up in a few of my videos. Basically, yeah, getting married in the summer, I'm going to be moving away from home and away from where I'm living now and away from the job that I'm doing now. And so basically, within 3 months, I need to find a job and I need to find somewhere to live. Yesterday morning, I was just like scrolling on Rightmove and stuff and looking for property down in the area where we're going to be living. And it all just got very overwhelming because it's quite an expensive area, and I was just thinking, how the heck are we going to afford to live? Like, Ryan's got a job but I don't have a job. Like, how are we going to be able to afford anywhere, like rent on anywhere, or like nobody's going to want to give us a mortgage because of our situation? And it was just getting to the point where it was all just getting really overwhelming and I was feeling really stressed out, and I was just not knowing like what I wanted to do in my life anymore. I was just been looking for random jobs and not really knowing like what I wanted to do, and kind of just, it was all just getting a bit too much and a bit overwhelming. And basically my answer to dealing with all of that stress was to stay in bed and eat chocolate and cry and watch Netflix. And so throughout the day, like, I was texting Ryan. He was at a conference, so I couldn't speak to him on the phone, but I was texting him and explaining like how stressed out I was feeling and stuff like that, and he kept telling me to give it to God and to give it to God, and I was like, I am giving it to God, but I still feel stressed. I still feel really overwhelmed by this, by like all of this. And actually, when I said that I was giving it to God, I was occasionally in between sobs like praying like, God help me, but in actual fact I spent more time watching Netflix and trying to let that deal with my emotions than I was actually coming before God and spending time with God. All day I just binge watched this series on Netflix, in between like drinking tea and eating chocolate and stuff like that, and that was my way of dealing with it. But then it got to a point in the day where I was just so exhausted from crying and from thinking about it that I got out of bed, I had a bath, and then I was like, right, after my bath I'm going to come out and I'm going to actually open up the Bible and I'm going to actually pray, and I'm actually going to give it to God. Not just say that I'm giving it to God and shoot up a quick prayer saying like, God help me, but actually like I'm going to spend time like in the Word and reading and praying. And so I did that, and I opened up my Bible study. And so basically I'm doing Bible in a year, and I have to admit I am a little bit behind, and this last week I haven't been the best at doing the Bible in a year. And so like I went back to where I should have been at, like where I last picked it up, and I didn't get further than the Psalm because God massively spoke to me through the Psalm. And basically through the Bible reading of that day, he reminded me of what that passion was that he's given me. He reminded me of that calling that I feel like he's placed on my life. And as I was reading this Psalm and as I was praying and as I was journaling, God started speaking to me, and he started reminding me of those things that set me on fire. Like, he reminded me of those things that make me get out of bed in the morning, those things that drive me, that passion that I have to see young people come to know Jesus and give their lives to him. Like, he reminded me of all of these things. He reminded me of his goodness, and he reminded me of his faithfulness, and how he's never ever let me down in the past, and he's not going to in this new season, and he's always provided in the past as well, and so he will provide in this new season. And it just was one of those things where I was like, man, like if I had chosen to come to God with this at the start of the day, like I could have saved myself a wasted day, and I could have saved myself, you know, I think it's good to cry about stuff, and I probably still would have cried because I was feeling very emotional, but I could have saved myself all of that like self-pity that I was in had I have come to God with it right at the start of the day. And so for me it was just one of those massive reminders, like, why is it that sometimes we turn to Netflix instead of to the Bible? Or why is it that we turn to like social media, or we turn to our friends instead of to the Bible? And actually it was just a massive reminder to me to give stuff over to with God and to really invest in spending time in the Word and spending time in prayer and journaling, or however it is that you connect with God. Like, spend time with Him. And the reason why I want to share this with you is because I don't ever want you to think that on this channel, like, I sit down and I share a lot with you about my journey and I share a lot of advice, and I don't ever want you to think that I've got it all together, or that when I'm speaking about spending time with God or reading the Bible and praying and stuff like that, I don't ever want you to think that I'm coming at it from a place of I am better than you and this is why you need to do that. Like, I'm just coming at it from a place of this is what I have learned from my experiences, and I just want to share that with you in the hopes that it encourages you and helps you as well. And also the thing that I've learned about kind of trusting God with the unknown, because in 3 months time there's only one thing that I know, and that is that I'm going to be married and I know the location of where we're going to be living, but apart from that, like, nothing else seems to be falling into place yet. And so I just have to be patient, and I just have to take it day by day, because like the Bible tells us, like, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has enough worries of its own. No, that's not it. Do not worry about tomorrow, because today has enough worries of its own. It's in Matthew, it's something along those lines. Basically, it's telling us not to worry about tomorrow, but just focus on today. And I know that's what I need to do. I just need to focus on each day, take each day of it as it comes. Of course, we need to be forward planning and stuff. Of course, that doesn't mean that I'm going to like stop applying for jobs and stop looking for housing and stuff like that, because I need to do those things. But I just need to not stress about them and worry about them. And I think now, like, when I do feel myself getting really overwhelmed, remembering and turning back to the Bible and turning back to my journal and choosing to spend time with God instead of spending time on Netflix, in the hopes that that would help me, because actually Netflix didn't help me at all day. It didn't help me, but it was when I spent time with God that really helped me. I hope that encourages you. Trust God with the next season of your life, trust Him with these steps, and spend time with Him. And yes, thank you for watching, have a good week, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye! I actually do want to add a disclaimer at the end of this. I am in no way slating Netflix. Like, I'm still going to watch Netflix. Like, I've been watching Netflix today. So I'm not slating Netflix. Like, please don't think that I'm telling you don't read Netflix and only read your Bible. Like, if you want to do that, great, awesome, go for it. But yes, there's just a balance, a healthy balance of the two.